YouTube people, what's going on? Chidi Delibe, back with another video. Let's talk about Kanye West and him saying that slavery was a choice. A lot of the internet going buck wild, Black Twitter going buck wild, people incensed, offended, hurt, and all the like. And so let's break this down. Let me give you my personal reaction, of course, in my video. But first off, some people are making it seem as if Kanye West is saying that Africans were choosing to go on the ships and then, of course, get stacked on them ships and sent to the Americas and to other countries, in South America, West Indies, and whatnot. And I don't think that's not his point. When you look at the quote of him, he was saying, blacks were in slavery for 400 years. And then he kind of pulled back and he was like, 400 years? That sounds like a choice to me. And so he's not talking about initially blacks becoming slaves, but the mere fact of it's been this long period of time and black people, Africans, stayed slaves and in his mind made that choice. Now, for me, I'm not offended by that because I always believe that whatever you stay in, that's what you're choosing to stay in, no matter what kind of force, kickback, or, violent pushing back against you, what you're receiving. No matter what, you're still making a choice. And I'm going to name some people that, let's say, leftists, especially black leftists, approve of in what they say that tells us that when it comes to slavery, they do believe it's a choice. But let's just look at other examples. The abused woman in an abused relationship, when she's getting beat by her husband or beat by her boyfriend, is she forced to just stay there? Or would you advocate that she must leave? If you advocate that she should leave, then you're saying that she has a choice, even though she's being forcefully abused. The drug addicted person, even though the temptation to use drugs, the level of addiction that they're feeling, the pain from the withdrawals if they stop, does that person have zero capability and choice of stopping drugs, or are they just stuck on drugs their entire life? I'm sure you believe that they still have a choice, no matter how painful the withdrawals may be. You believe they have a choice. Then why is it with slavery that it was impossible for black people, because there are many, many uprisings that took place, especially in America and in other European countries. There were many slave uprisings that happened. Were those people wrong? Were those people for some, I guess, did they have a choice or didn't have a choice? Because they had an uprising, so they must have chose to do something. So what do you call those people? If it wasn't a choice, if slavery was not a choice, then what were the uprisings? What did they do? Let me give you some examples. A lot of people like the classic phrase from Patrick Henry, give me liberty or give me death. He's saying, I'm not going to be slave, or I'm not going to be lorded over by no man. And people use that phrase as a very, impassionate phrase in regards to, hey, nobody's going to own me. Give me liberty. I will die. I'd rather die, death before dishonor, all these different phrases. But Patrick Henry said that people like that phrase. I'm like, that phrase lends to anybody, especially a slave, having a choice. How about, I heard some guy, actually I watch his videos and I appreciate his videos, Anthony Brian Logan. I'm not sure if this was his original thought, if he got it from somewhere, but it doesn't matter because it was a good thought, that Eric Killmonger from Black Panther, at the end of the movie, when he's dying, and T'Challa wanted to save him, and Killmonger was like, no, basically, bury me out in the ocean with my ancestors because they believed that death was better than bondage. And, oh, yes, all the left and all the black people in the movie theaters, they were loving it. Okay, they were loving that phrase. But what that phrase thought was that Eric Killmonger believed that slavery was a choice. And I choose not to be a slave, so therefore I'm going to die. And the same thing with Nate Parker and the movie that he was in regard with Nat Turner and the Nat Turner uprising. Nat Turner made a choice and said, I'm not going to be a slave. I say no. The white slave master says, yes, I say no. We got a problem. I'm out of here. I'm having an uprising. We're not going to get into all the details about the uprising and what it all did and whatnot, but nonetheless, he made a choice as a slave and said, I will not be your slave. I choose to say no. And people, once again, loved them the Nat Turner movie. But the Nat Turner movie was all about a man who said, I know I have a choice and I choose to say no as a slave. But see, people are so sensitive nowadays that when Kanye West says a phrase like this, people are butthurt, super offended, and they're just all over the place. But I guarantee you, if it wasn't Kanye West, because now, Kanye West, of course, everybody knows what he's doing nowadays. He's wearing the MAGA hat and people are triggered and all that stuff. Let's say it was somebody like, I don't know, a Kanye West. Or let's say, not Kanye West, but let's say somebody like a Morgan Freeman. Because Morgan Freeman has said phrases that other white and black people have said and been completely offended. How he said, don't call me an African American. I don't, or I believe black history is American history. I don't want a Black History Month. All right. You have other people that said that black people were offended. Morgan Freeman says it. Nobody's tripping. So it's just the selective outrage. When certain people say some things, people are all offended. When other people say the same thing or allude to the same thing, they're not offended. What if Michael Eric Dyson? What if, just name some people. What if Van Jones and some of these other people said something similar to what Kanye West was saying about, hey, we see with some of these slave uprisings that slavery to them was a choice and they chose to say no. People would not be as outraged as they are, but it's solely because it's Kanye West. And people need to look beyond, you can't be such a tribalist to where I only agree to things when people who look like me say those same things or say those things that I agree with. No, don't be a tribalist. Don't get all into identity politics and all that different stuff. If somebody says something that's true, it doesn't matter if they believe 99.9% of the other things they believe are false and wrong, and it. But if they say something that's true, then you should admit and get behind what they say that is true, period. That's at least how I live. I can't speak for everybody. So when Kanye West says that he believes that staying a slave, that staying in slavery for over 400 years, there's some choice involved in that. I'm like, yes, because there's choice involved in anything that you stay in life. So, I don't know. This will be over probably by, I don't know, a week or two after Black Twitter has the fire has burned out from Black Twitter and they've moved on. But they're going to keep on going on this for a while. But people who are free thinking and think beyond just what, they believe their color says they should, they see the truth and they see what's going on. Anyways, that's my time, y'all. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And keep it respectful, as always. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you so will. And I'll talk to you on the next one. I'm out.